Good Monday morning and welcome to Instant Replay, North Georgia's only online live sports show. I'm Luther Kinsey, once again filling in for Dave Garner, who is on his way back from Miami today, where he got to enjoy a good week's vacation with his new wife and family, I believe. He'll be back next week right here on FYNTV.com and Instant Replay. As you know, we air every Monday morning at 10 a.m. live from 10 to 11, right after BKP's Good Morning from the Office, and it will also re-air the rest of the week at 10 o'clock after BKP's show. You can watch it anytime on demand at FYNTV.com. If you'd like to contact us and be a part of the show, you can contact us on our studio line at 706-889-9700, or you can email us any information on your athlete, any questions, any comments about the show, anything you would like to see us cover as far as youth or high school sports at Team FYN Sports at FetcherNews.com. Here at Instant Replay, we strive, and of course Team FYN Sports as well, we strive to always highlight and promote the student athlete in a positive manner. And so if you've got some information on your son, daughter, niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter that you would like for us to be able to, place on the show and, give them a shout out and some highlights of their accolades that they have, just feel free to email us, once again at Team FYN Sports, FetcherNews.com, or contact us on our studio line at 706-889-9700. Look forward to a great show today. Had a great weekend. Dodged a few showers, but, all in all, it was a beautiful weekend. Got to enjoy the outdoors a little bit. Amanda, what did you have the pleasure of doing this weekend?
A whole lot of kid errands to run and signing up the kids for football camp.
Oh, well, that's fun. Now,
Getting fitted.
Where will they be going to camp at?
They'll be going to the Cherokee County District.
Cool. Well, I wish them the best. Hope they have fun with that. So that's going to be awesome for them. All right. Well, today we're going to start off something a little different than the normal outline that we have for our show here. As you know, in the past, you've seen our Next Level segment, and that's where we highlight those seniors or juniors, student athletes that are making the verbal commitment or actually signing their national letter of intent to move on to the next level to play college ball or track or whatever sport that may be. Last week, we was able to bring to you a couple of gentlemen who had signed that from other, before Instant Replay really came to fruition, before it was on air and really in production, and we were able to come to you. And today we're going to do that as well. Back in February 2018, we had two Lumpkin County athletes put pen to paper and sign to move on to the next level. Josh Chastain will be going to Reinhardt University this year and probably is there now as we speak, depending on when that quarter starts. But he is definitely practicing and getting ready as football season approaches. Wesley Wells, and kudos to this young man, he's going to my favorite college, Georgia Tech. So, of course, I hear the boos from the audience that's watching, and that's okay. I'm a football fan first and foremost, but there's some very special reasons that I'm a Georgia Tech fan, and I will be to the day that the good Lord calls me home. But I'm not going to get into those. Football's football, baseball's baseball. Love it all. Pull for, just enjoy the game, not necessarily pull for really anyone other than Georgia Tech. As I said, Josh Chastain will be going to, let's go to Wesley Wells first. Recruit Georgia said he's probably the biggest sleeper and unnoticed in the kickers. Of course, Lumpkin County Indians football. Wesley Wells has a big leg, and he often puts kickoffs through the uprights, which is, that's probably a good 70 to 80 yard kick. The kick from the 40. So that's 60 yards to the goal line, 10 yards in the end zone. So, to clear that at a decent level, you're looking at least 70 yards. So that's an awesome leg. He had 93% of his kickoffs last season unreturnable, which were touchbacks. In Georgia high school, if the ball crosses the goal line and goes in the end zone, it is not returnable. It is blown dead immediately. And, of course, in college and pro, you can run those out. Point after attempts his senior year, he was 100%. He made every one of those. He was a 2016 7-3 AAA first team All-Region, and in 2016, in 2017, he was a 7-3 AAA Special Teams Player of the Year. Reinhardt College is getting an excellent. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, Reinhardt is just. I mean, they're getting. I mean, Georgia Tech, I'm sorry, is getting an excellent kicker. And in the past, if you've watched any Georgia Tech football as I have, they cannot go wrong with getting the Georgia Tech special teams in order there with this young man. And I apologize about getting those mixed up there. I wrote the wrong name down in my notes. Next up out of Lumpkin County, also making the commitment to go, Josh Chastain was going to Reinhardt. Now, Josh is 6 foot tall, 270-pound lineman. He stood out for the Indians last year in the weight room. He puts on a show. Super strong young man. He squats 515 pounds, has a bench press of 345. On the field, he fires out quickly from his stance, and it's not unusual to see him beat the defensive player right in front of him and then move on downfield to take on another opponent to help his runner get extra yards. So just congratulations to both of these young men. One more quick note on Josh Chastain. He also plays defense. In 2015, first team All-American. All-American, All-Region on offense as a lineman. In 2016, he was first team All-Region for defense. So he plays on both sides of the ball. Reinhardt's getting a great one there. He's going to help him out and, just put a big body on the line there that knows his position and knows how to just take control of the defensive player across from him or the offensive player if he's on the defensive side of the ball. Another next level segment. On July 10th, Maddie Johnson, basketball player for the Fannin Lady Rebels, made her commitment to lace up her high tops to play for Reinhardt as well from the Lady Eagles. Johnson graduated in May. Her fellow seniors nominated and voted her to be the most athletic of the senior class, which is a testament. And as I read on down here and you see here, she is definitely an all-around athlete. She played basketball for all 4 years. She ran track for 3 years, and she actually played softball for 1 year. So she's very versatile in her athletic ability, and we just wish her the best as she goes on. Coach Chastain from from Fannin was excited to organize her signing with family, friends, teammates, and former coaches in attendance. Now, Suzanne, I hope I'm saying this right, Suzanne Pass. It may be Suzanne Pass. She was her coach, Maddie's coach, for all 4 years. Of course, she has moved on to another location there, but she was really happy to see that Maddie's going to play for her alma mater, as Pass graduated from Reinhardt University, where she played ball as well. She was a quote from Miss Pass. Says she's wanted to attend there since Maddie has wanted to attend there since she was accepted early in her senior year. It's a great college to begin your career at. I wish her the best. And Maddie, of course, here at Instant Replay, we wish you the best as well, and we look forward to hearing great things from you as you enter your freshman year, and look forward to a great basketball season with Reinhardt this year. Congratulations again. Moving on to a couple out of Pickens County. For signing their, or verbally committing, correction there. Isaiah Payne, I tell you, Reinhardt's very popular right now. Reinhardt has offered Isaiah Payne to come play baseball. And, of course, Isaiah Payne has verbally committed to further his education and play ball. He wants to thank God, family, friends, coaches, and teammates for helping make this all possible, and go Eagles. And that was a quote from Payne. Team FYN Sports will be there when it comes time for him to sign his letter of commitment, and we are excited to see that. Also from Pickens County Dragons, Caswell Smith has committed to play baseball for Coach Chad Holbrook and the College of Charleston Cougars. Once again, once that pen is put to paper, Team FYN Sports will be there. Congratulations to Caswell Smith and Isaiah Payne for furthering their education first and foremost, and then moving on to play baseball. Look forward to great years on that. Coming up in the next few segments, we're going to have an opportunity to catch a couple pieces of video interview that I sat down with Coach Casey Wingard from Gilmer High School football and the Bobcats. We're going to bring you some information on some 7-on-7 camp that the Bobcats competed in this past Friday over in Murray County. Like I said, we'll have part one of my sit-down interview with him. We're going to have some Murray County Indian sports. We don't get to cover a whole bunch of those, but I've got some information for you today on these gentlemen and some things that Coach Brewer said about his program. And, we're going to bring later on, we'll have some Pickens volleyball, some information on quarterback striker from Pickens County that has came in as well, and some youth camp information. Look forward to bringing you all this and some good news about the Mountain Football League that has announced where their Super Bowl location will be for this year. And we'll bring all that to you later on in the show. But right now, that's going to bring us to our first break right here on Instant Replay. And I'm Luther Kinsey sitting in for Dave Garner. We'll be back after these brief messages. Welcome back to Instant Replay, North Georgia's only online sports show that is broadcast live every Monday morning at 10 a.m. As we talked about right there at the end of the first segment, I had an opportunity to sit down with Coach Casey Wingard of Gilmer High School football the other day, and we want to bring some of that to you right now and just hear his comments and his thoughts on some things, and I'll be back with you right after. Casey Wingard, varsity football coach for Gilmer High School. Coach, how you doing today?
Real good. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having us. Looking forward to the 2018 season. If you will, touch base on how your spring practice went and the spring game. I believe it was 0-0 with Cahola Creek. Don't know if that's really good defense or not enough offense.
Bit of both.
I would say probably a combination of both on that.
Yeah.
As far as the spring practice goes and the numbers that you had turn out compared to the numbers you have now, have they dropped? Did you have any?
No, they've stayed the same. We have pretty good numbers in the spring, and we got a new coaching staff coming in and getting them in front of the kids, meeting the kids, getting that consistency with the kids, been pretty good. So in the spring, we were offense, defense, trying to get all that put together in. The coaches are coming as far as from Florida to Cherokee, from all over, from Tennessee and all that stuff. So getting them in to be in front of the kids, we got to handle that first, and then going through practice and everything. Kids responded well. We had a really good spring. I think we got out of it what we needed to. Going to play Cahola Creek, good team, good opponent. And we just didn't have a lot of consistency on some sides of the ball. Defense, we had I remember one good defensive stance in the red zone down there, and that just showed the testament of our kids. We've got some kids coming back from last year that are, really working hard for us in the off season.
Well, speaking of the new kids that's coming back from last year, how many seniors did you lose last year?
4.
Okay, so you've pretty much got your whole team from last year. That's good. So experience is going to be, and the knowledge of our.
Right.
Well, actually, I probably need to ask: did you change the offensive scheme or defensive scheme?
We've changed. Yeah, we've changed a little bit here and there, but not reselled whole out. And we've got a bunch of seniors coming back, guys with experience, older guys that have been through a really tough football season. And they're a tight-knit group, close together. They've been working hard out here. A lot of leadership have been stepping forward, kids saying things to other kids in the locker room, carrying it out to the football field, and kind of picking up what we've been preaching to them, and then continuing it down to the younger kids, to the freshmen coming up from 8th grade. And it's a good consistency and mix of what we got right now, and I'm fired up and excited about it.
Good. Well, as far as the upcoming season, of course, we've covered the schedule on Instant Replay, our live show on Mondays, and went over some of your opponents. What, as a coach, do you feel is going to be your biggest challenge early in the season against some of these teams?
I think early in the season against some of these teams, we've got to play sound football. We got to have a sound offense and a sound defense, and all the kid out there working together. Special teams are always going to be a part of it. Very important. We can't put ourselves in bad situations, and just coming together and getting better each practice. Not getting better each week, not getting better each game, but each practice we go out there having something to take away from it. We got better. We picked this up. We understood that. We took the coaching. We pushed harder. All that stuff coming together for each little practice. And that's what I think is going to help us in the early games.
Well, talking about getting better each week, let's talk David Smith, your quarterback.
Okay.
Is he going to be your starting quarterback again this year?
Yeah, he's been doing a good job at quarterback with us right now. He's been looking good. His steps, his reads, everything's been looking really good. He's improved a lot more than he has last year. So I'm very excited for him to step out on the field and perform for us.
Now, we're talking with the community. I've had some people in the community tell me, as I've researched Gilmer football, of course, being a new reporter to this area, I wanted to learn as much about it as I could, not only from y'all, and of course my research of checking your schedules and your opponents and how you've done in the past, but also talking to the community a little bit. On David Smith as quarterback, I've had some people tell me that sometimes he just don't want to. It seems like he doesn't want to run the ball. Is that something that you've noticed as a coach, or are you working on that, or is it just the play calls that that you have?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. With David, he was in the option system last year, and that's a really tough situation to put a kid in, going from a spread situation, going from a old box situation, and then going into a triple option. He's had 3 different offenses type of looks, so him picking up on that, and I mean he's very good at understanding football itself. So coaching him is he understands what he's supposed to be looking at and all that stuff quicker than most kids. But just changing the offense like it was in the past couple of years, over and over again, kind of you can see him in other kids, not only just David. I mean, he's the one quarterback, limelight, spotlights on him, people talk about all that, but all the other support people around him, linemen to running backs, fullback, all that kind of stuff, even receivers, different route trees, all that kind of stuff. It's had an effect, and that's what we're preaching as a coaching staff, consistency. Here's what we're doing, here's our plan. The kids are picking up on it, and I think he'll be a lot better with what we're doing now as opposed to 3 years ago, 2 years ago, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, as I said earlier before the interview started, I met David during baseball season. He's a great young man. He is a great athlete and very smart, as you said. He will pick up and adjust to this new offense, kind of going in triple option. It's very difficult because it puts a lot of stress, so to speak, on that quarterback. And I look forward to David having a great year. As far as some of your seniors or players that are coming back as seniors this year, do you have any standouts that you really look to have a banner year?
Tyler Brogdon is one of ours that he's been here every day over the summer. He works his tail off in the weight room, and he's been real impressive as far as leadership goes on the football field, in the weight room, even in the locker room, preaching what we've been talking about. And he's been doing a really good job for us, and I think he's picked up a couple people carrying along with him. Tyson Elliott's one of the linemen that's coming back, and he's been, every different front, every different, scheme you could think of, and he's just kept his nose down and kept working and working. So, they're going to be pretty impressive. We got some skilled kids that are going to be seniors, that have been working hands, working feet, and everything, and it's going to look pretty good.
That was segment 1 of my interview with Coach Casey Wingard, and as you heard him say there, he's got some seniors that are really stepping up, and he looks forward to a great year from the coaching staff. He has brought in, for the first time in 3 years, Coach Wingard has a full 10-member coaching staff, which would be great. It's going to allow each position, linebackers, running backs, O-line, D-line, which is offensive line, defensive line, and all that, to have a coach that can specifically focus on them and really get them the attention they need to improve their skills and get these plays and schemes, so to speak, worked out. Look forward to a great year from the Bobcats, and we'll have the second half of that interview coming up later in the show. Real quick note before we go to our next break on the Bobcats. Coach Wingard loaded up the bus and took his team over to Murray County on Friday for a 7-on-7 camp. He said there were several teaching moments in it. Kids learned a lot, got some time on the field and to be able to run just several plays. It started out slow, but as the day progressed, Coach Wingard said the team got better. Like I said, he had a few coachable moments. Starting out slow, number one, is something he wants to try to avoid as the season gets going. If you start slow, generally the other team's going to come out fast and going to get behind on the scoreboard fairly quick. So you want to try to keep that pace, come out firing on all cylinders, and just keep that going throughout the whole game to maintain that consistency. Second teaching moment he talked about is the receivers. He's got to work on them to really help them run cleaner routes. If you're running a stop fade, you want to stop to draw that defender to stop as well, and then you want to take off. He said, just need to run cleaner routes, and that's something they'll be working on in practice over the next few days. Murray also held a lineman challenge as part of the camp. And that's where they've taken offensive line and defensive line, and they put them in little miniature skill stations to compete against other linemen from other high schools. And it may be like team challenge, maybe tug of war. Sled push may be, one of the other challenges. Coach Wingard didn't go into all that those were, but overall in the lineman challenge, they finished second, and that's determined by number of points in each event. By the way, they did win the tug of war as a team, so Coach Wingard was very excited to know that the strength of his guys and just their ability to, as a team, to really work together on that. He was really excited to see that. Like I said, they finished second overall in that. Had just shy of first place by maybe 12 points, I believe Coach Wingard told me this morning on the phone. But they're preparing to go to Northwest Whitfield camp this weekend, where they'll be, on Tuesday and Wednesday. Not this week, not this weekend. Tuesday and Wednesday, they'll probably end up playing like 4 games a day, and hopefully 4 on Wednesday as well. But he said if those games didn't make, that he would have kind of a little, internal camp amongst his guys and just really do that. And then, of course, coming up, Georgia High School's got mandated for acclimation days. So that's where they'll get out there, and you have to start acclimating to the heat and getting ready for the high school season, which, by the way, is less than a month away. So we look forward to that and hearing more from Coach Wingard's interview later on in the show. That's going to take us to our next break. Coming up in the next segment, we've got some Murray County news and some youth camp news. And if we have time in the final segment of the day, we'll bring some information on the World Cup. Welcome back to Instant Replay. Once again, I'm Luther Kinsey sitting in for Dave Garner, who will be back next week. If you want to call us on our studio phone, 706-889-9700, or you can email us information on your athlete at Team FYN Sports at fetchyournews.com. And we're always highlighting and promoting student athletes in a positive manner. So we definitely would like to hear from you, comments on the show, comments on an athlete. If we're not covering something or we've missed that information, and you want to give that to us, please feel free to contact us on either one of those locations, either by cell or by email, and we'd love to get it on a future show for you. I'll bring some news out of Pickens County now. The Pickens County Nets volleyball team is over in Gainesville this afternoon and tomorrow, starting at 3 o'clock at the home of the Red Elephants, Gainesville High School, for some preseason workouts, I said, for volleyball, and just putting in a little extra camp time, getting ready for the season, which starts in about 2 weeks. Staying in with the high school, Dragons starting quarterback C.J. Stryker is probably the most traveled quarterback in high school in Georgia. This young man seems like every time we turn around, he is at a college camp somewhere. This past week, he was at Harvard and Yale, just out there, just putting in his time to attend, these and get better. He's been to the Georgia Tech camp and multiple other camps. And just C.J. Stryker, we love your work ethic here, and look forward to a great year with the Pickens County Dragons. He's an amazing young man. So just look forward to seeing a good year out of him. Covered a little youth camp, wrestling youth camp out of Pickens County. Back to the Basics camp will be held on July 19th and July 20th in the cafeteria of Pickens High School. Kobe Milner will be the main clinician. He's three-time state champ, AAC conference champion. He's currently a sophomore at Reinhardt University. And it's $40 per wrestler to attend that. You can contact, if you're kindergarten through 8th grade and you would like to participate in this, contact Brandon Tippins at 770-317-6052 or Joe Mullins, 770-881-6698, or Kobe Milner at 678-687-1259. This information will be on Team FYN Sports later today. And real quick, Amanda, if you can pull up that youth football photo that you just had up there, youth football camp. There you go. Last Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, the Pickens County Dragons football program and youth Mountain League program held their youth camp for both football and cheer. Combination of the two had over 400 youth there, learning, training. On the football side, we had different skill stations set up for offense, offensive linemen, receivers, quarterbacks, proper blocking techniques, proper tackling techniques. And on the cheer side, the Pickens County cheerleaders were out there teaching them, the different skills and techniques as far as toe touches. And do not know all the technical words for all this, but the tumbling and new cheers and things like that. So look forward to a great year with the Pickens County Youth Football Program. And in saying that, I mentioned earlier that I had some good news about the Mountain Football League and their announcement for the 2018 Mountain League Football Super Bowl. It'd be Super Bowl 2. Super Bowl 2. I'm struggling with my words today, folks, and I apologize. Pickens County High School and Dragon Stadium has been chosen as the location for this year's Mountain League Football Super Bowl. Really excited for the Pickens County Youth Program. It's going to be a full day of just championship games, best of the best, from 6-year-old up to 7th grade. And just if you get a chance, it's going to be on November 3rd, once again at Pickens County High School. Congratulations for the honor of being chosen that location. Right now, before we go to our last segment, we're going to go ahead and bring in our last part of our interview with Coach Casey Wingard to get some final thoughts on Gilmer football. And that'll take us, after that, it'll take us into our final break of the day and lead us into our fourth segment.
Well, as far as skill players, let's talk about a receiver or two that that has really came way up in the last year's practice at this same time. With the triple option, of course, with David's going to be running this year with the passing and all that stuff involved. who has your best hands on the team as far as maybe his go-to target without giving too much information to the other teams?
Yeah, no, and I think what we got on our team right now, we've got 3 kids competing. Who has the best? That's from day to day. Some good, some bad, some get better than the others. But I think Jonas Griggs, Corbin Singleton, and Bryson Smith, those 3 out wide, have been looking consistently, catching the balls, and running the routes, cutting it off, not rounding anything off, having a crisp route tree. And they've been doing a good job competing with each other and encouraging each other. So I think, they've stepped up and done a great job for us.
Right. Well, I'm going to change, still talking football, but I want your thoughts on comparison of football to life. Mm-hmm. 'Cause, just like life, things change every day in life, just like they do in football. You never know in a game what's going to happen next from the opposing team. Just like in life, you never know what's going to, what situation you're going to face next there. How, from a mentor standpoint, not necessarily a coach, but life situations off the field, how do you interact with your athletes there, and what type of, life advice do you give them, other than football strategy? Right.
Well, life advice for them, we're here for them. And they know that first and foremost, and I tell them that all the time. I go and pick kids up, take them home, know about their families, ask them how their weekend was, vacation, all that kind of stuff. And the kids, of course, they come and tell me a lot of things, probably a little too much. So helping them work through those mentalities and things they're dealing with in life, whether or not if I can relate to that, whether it's happened in my life or not, or we might have a coach on staff that something like that has happened to. We have resources for us, and we help them kids out as much as they need, and let them always know, with football-wise, kind of next play mentality. Things happen in life. It's hard. You can point the finger, and you got 4 pointing back at you. And I always tell the kids that. Mirror concept is something that I talk about a lot. You want to fix anything, look in the mirror first. Have an honest, and I told the kids when we did a mentor leadership meeting, I told them the hardest thing for the human body to do, the person, is to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. So in relating that to football, to school, to their teenage life, did I do the right thing? Was this something? Did I react the right way? Could I have made a better choice? How do I fix a certain situation? What's the real reason? And core foundations like that. So we preach and talk about that all the time for these kids, because that's just part of what we do. We're around them a lot. And I feel it's part of our job to create that kind of consistency with the kids and let them know that we're there for them and we can help them in any kind of thing outside of football. Football, is extremely important, but also how they're doing, apart from what they're wanting to do, and making sure that they understand we're there for them.
Well, I tell you, I had a long-time coach who's now retired and actually passed on out of Gainesville, where I'm from originally, tell me when we were talking basically the same question. It was early on when I first started officiating many years ago. His comment was, "Would your mama be proud of you?"
Right.
So I can relate that. I really like the look in the mirror.
We're going off the win concept. WIN, what's important now, especially in the summer, because you think going to the lake or hanging out with your buddies late night or anything like that. What's important now? Is winning later on in the season important to you? Then you're going to do the right things. That play was not your best play. What's important now? Are you going to show your butt, or are you going next play mentality? What's important now to you? So that win philosophy gets put into it.
I like that. I'll use that if you don't mind in my conversations with people. That's really good. Well, Coach, I definitely appreciate you sitting down with me.
Thank you.
Hopefully you have a great season. Look forward to covering you this year, and we'll catch up with you later on in the season or closer to the season to see how things are going for you.
It's on. It's close. It's coming up.
Once again, Luther Kinsey with Team FYN Sports, and I've been sitting down with Coach Casey Wingard of Gilmer High School football, and look forward to a great Bobcat season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, Coach, appreciate you having us there and letting us come down and sit down with you, and we will be keeping up with you. As I am the Gilmer reporter, I'll be contacting you randomly, so don't block me on your cell phone, if you will, please. Well, that's going to take us to our last break of the day. I look forward to having you stay with us.
Better days ahead. Yellow